Welcome to the Dungeon Coach live stream. Whether you're watching this live right now or sometime in the future, I got you covered. I want to help you guys with your Dungeons and Dragons questions. All the timestamps will be linked down below. And I also, if you want next level help, I also have some stuff that I offer my patrons each and every month. Because I want to say thank you for you supporting what I do here and helping me chase after this dream of mine of doing content creation full time. So these PDFs have DM resources, homebrew options to customize and tweak your game. Every single month I have magic items, traps, puzzles, riddles, character bonus perks to customize a wide variety of different characters. It's got entire rule systems like enchanting and lycanthropy and how to run those different types of things, and a ton of other stuff to input into your world, into your cities, into your rule systems, and just spark up that creativity each and every month. And for all of you that are watching this video in the future, or you're coming back to it at a later time, you had to leave during the live stream, I'm gonna have all the timestamps down below and in the chapters here at the bottom of the screen that you can click around and see which question I answered and jump around and find out what's most interesting to you. So on with the live stream. Woo! Let's go. Let's go. What's up, people? What's up, people? Who we got? Who we got? We got, oh, let me move this over here. Let me move this over here. We got Scatterbugs here. We got Greg, Josh, King, the Beast, Ava and Bugger here. The combo. Josh Zellers. All the familiar names. What's up, people? Silver Mage. What's up, Silver Mage? Sneaky Steve is here. Whew, we got a moderator. Steve Newton. Let's go. That reminded me of Fig Newtons. It just made me think of Fig Newtons for a second. Oh, yeah, check the shirt out. Check the shirt out. I'm repping the shirt here, people. My wife is actually just now getting back to being able to finish up making all the rest of the shirts for the Alcantar's Almanac launch of things that is officially, I will say, I'll go ahead and make a little announcement here. Alcantar's Almanac, of all things, books, started to ship out today. Like, the first shipments were sent out today. They did a test run of 10 people. So of the 2,756 physical hard copies that are being sent out, 10 people are going to get them a day sooner, just because they did a test run to make sure everything works and all the things went into the right places. They always do that. That's a standard procedure thing. So I don't know who those 10 people are, but wait, we got it. It's on its way. It's on its way. Let's go. Let's go. I'm just gonna put it right over here. I'm gonna set it on top. I'm gonna set it right there. Here we go. Here we go. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Ooh, I hope that muted it. Did that mute it? Does that mute? I hope it did, because I don't want to be coughing on you guys. So we got a Q&A stream, people. We got a Q&A stream. Get your questions queued up. Don't ask them yet. Don't ask them yet. Put a hashtag question in front of your question. I'll explain how it goes. Band of Colt. What's up, Band Colt? What's up? What's up? That's Zyfe Gaming. What's up? We got some new people. We got some new Uncomfort Zone. What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? CJ, you're finally able to watch the stream live. CJ Rutecki. There we go. Finally able to watch the stream. Just starting my home game, prepping D&D development. Hey, let's go. Can't wait to give him bonus level up perks. Oh, let's go. I'm about to start. Well, I guess not about to start. It's over a month away. I'm going to start my Curse of Strahd campaign, and I have, at first level, I give them bonus level up perks at first level. So that's going to be interesting, and that's going to be fun. So it's based on their backstory and depends on what they give me with their backstory, etc., etc. Another way to entice them to give me a backstory is the more they give me in the backstory, the more options I have to give them a cool bonus level up perk. But anyway, all right, cool. Here's how this whole thing goes. This is the boss. If you want to become the boss, Super Chats donated, deal damage to the boss, and whoever gets the killing blow on the boss becomes the next boss. And then your name's up on here, and then we get to try and take you down. Not we, because I'm just a neutral party in all of this. Although I am technically, by default, the boss right now, so be nice. And then this is the stream goal. If we hit the stream goal, I give away a PDF copy of Alcantar's Almanac of All Things. And if you already have a copy of Alcantar's Almanac of All Things, I send you any D&D book you want. I'll mail you a physical one if you're in the U.S., and if you're in a difficult place to ship, then you can get it on D&D Beyond, or go have a shopping spree on my website as well. So there you go. That's how it works. So hashtag question. Hit me with a hashtag question. Send them out. Sneaky Steve. Oh, where were we? Hold up. Sneaky Steve. Sneaky Steve's going to grab them, hit me up, and we'll go to it. And yes. Oh, and Scatterbug with the $10 super chat says, like this, and then now Scatterbug is the boss. So thank you. I am no longer in danger. Scatterbug with his mandibles always just going crazy on people. I did not say Stinky Steve. It's Sneaky Steve. I should pronunciate better. So yeah, that is how it works. And Super Chat's jumped to the front of the line with any sort of questions go through. I appreciate the support with all this. So heck yeah. Oh, King to Beast with 1 health with. Oh no, it happened again. I'm gonna fight the cough. Okay. Wow, I just beat the cough. Did y'all see that? I just swallowed it up, right? King to Beast, sneak attack with 1 HP left, or just basically 1 HP left on death's door. But King to Beast, I appreciate you, King to Beast. That is next level. That's funny. All right, so first question comes from Uncomfort Zone. I also have some water here, some peach tea flavored water. All right, here we go. Hey, you're the rogue around here. Scatterbug is the rogue. He is true. Yeah, got a good con save on the cough. All right, so here we go. So, Star Wars cup. Yes, it is. I got a Star Wars cup. I am your father. Once I got boys, I got this cup. My wife got it for me. Anyway, so Uncomfort Zone has a question. Yo, Coach, I'm going to play a moon druid devoted to a god of balance and justice. I want her to have a Hillist? I want to have a Hilst of greed, a Hilst of greedy people who have wronged her family. Any ideas for people on this? Or on the list? I want to have a list. Oh, a hit list. Oh, okay. Hit list. Here we go. Okay. Wow, that's super awesome. Uncomfort Zone corrected himself. Sneaky Steve saw the Uncomfort Zone in the chat and then went to the thing I'm looking at in Discord here, edited the message to be able to see it. Props to Sneaky Steve. Purple hearts for Sneaky Steve in the chat. Let's go, Sneaky Steve. All right. So Moon Druid. Also, how this works is in the chat. I purposely look away from the chat right now. You guys can answer this question. I don't want to be corrupted by and be put inside the box. Anytime I have an answer to a question, I don't want to hear other people's answers yet, because it sends your brain in certain directions. So if someone's like, oh, it could be this, I'm like, oh, okay. And then I might have gone this way, but me seeing something made me go this way, right? And then after I say my thoughts, we collaborate in the chat, and then maybe something even better comes from it. So cool. So Moon Druid, devoted to a god of balance and justice. I want to have a hit list of greedy people who have wronged her family. Any good ideas on people on this hit list? A hit list. Dang, a moon druid, balance and justice. Hit list. Poachers. I think you can have poachers be on this hit list. Poachers who only do bad. Like, you know how there's some poachers like they only hunt the animals that are overpopulated, or I don't even know how that stuff works, so don't quote me on that. But I would do something that, like, poachers that maybe hunt down the extinct fancy prey, like the ones that are like the bald eagle or the extinct white tiger. Make them fantasy races, obviously. But that's something I think as far as a moon druid that would maybe be triggered by. Same thing with nature if you wanted to go the druid route there. And then I would also say, like, devoted to balance and justice. People have gotten away with stuff. Have you seen Dexter? Oh my god, if you haven't seen Dexter, watch Dexter, and then you can get some inspiration for your moon druid on Comfort Zone. But you could do people that got away with stuff. People that got away with stuff and justice was not served. And you could go around killing people in this very, very evil way, but in a selflessly evil way, with a purpose, like lawful evil, like a very structured situation of killing people. But that's really interesting. That's very interesting. So anyway, there's my 2 cents on your druid there. And then sweet, got it, cool. Hey, Matthew Heyman's here. What's up? Oh, another scary movie week. Let's go. Hey, Matthew Heyman, I'll be streaming on the gaming channel after this, winding down, if you want to come hang out there too. So anyway, next question. Oh, whoa, we got a super chat. Oh my gosh, Ava. Ava comes in swats the bug. Only I may swat the bug. And yeah, Ava and Bug is just, they're called ink bug together because they're a thing. So be careful. Ava's not joking around. She's the only one that can swat that bug. Ooh, spicy. All right, we're gonna leave that one alone. Ooh, Silver Mage has a thing. Would that be lawful evil or chaotic good? I feel like Silver Mage, that would be lawful evil, because lawful is a highly structured code of efficiency. Dexter from Dexter would definitely be lawful evil. I think he had a code and he had to stick to that code, but that code with all of its structure, he killed people, which part of evil is not necessarily selfish. It is very much like there's a level of like appreciation of life in there. So there's that, and then maybe you could make an argument of like lawful neutral or something like that. But yeah, I'm thinking because chaotic good, like yeah, good, but then you're killing people, so that's not really good. And then chaotic is definitely, you can't be chaotic with your structure of law of only the people that do that, you know what I'm saying? So heck yeah. All right, cool. All right, anyway, and then we got okay, sweet. Oh no. Okay, I just saw this when I was responding to it, so I'm gonna answer this question real quick. Is there any way I can get a physical copy of Alcander's? I recently discovered your channel. Sadly, there is currently not a way to get a hardcover of Alcander's Almanac of all things. Literally today at noon, I pressed the button, and it's literally like a nuclear launch code button. I press the button, and then everything shuts, and then they send off the list. So the list is not even it's not in Kickstarter anymore. It's not in BackerKit anymore. It is now in the hands of Easy Ship and their logistics company with U Freight and all these other people that are handling the whole thing now. So my hands are now clean. And yeah, so the only way to get a physical hardcover is going to be at Dungeon Con, or Dungeon Coach Con, DC Con, which I'm going to be making announcements about that soon. I'm going to do a physical convention of sorts, which that's the first time technically I've even ever said that. So stay tuned to that. Me and my team have to talk about some stuff and get some things going, but that's going to be a thing. I'm going to bring some books there. And then the other possibility is the next Kickstarter, and that Alcander's Almanac book be a possible additional add-on that you could get there. Because I can only do launches through Kickstarter because there's just no means for me to be able to do something like that because it's just me right now. So there we go. DC Con hype. Thanks, KD&D. Oh yeah. Pyrotechnic. What's up, Pyrotechnic? So there we go. I'm sorry, Danish. But anyway, back to the questions. That was very proper. Tyrell Grove has a question. Should you prepare Gentle Riposte instead of Revivify if a character actually ends up dead, since Gentle Riposte works with Revivify, in your opinion? Interesting. Should you prepare Gentle Riposte instead of Revivify if a character actually ends up dead, since Gentle Riposte works with Revivify? Interesting. See, that's a whole, man, that's a can of worms. One, that is a very player focused question, you know what I'm saying? And I don't have as much experience as a player, and I also, there's some levels here about if you're familiar with my perceptions or my thoughts on Resurrection in general, I have some pretty spicy opinions about Resurrection in general. So, both of those are just skirting the edge of that whole death thing in general. So, oh man, that's tough. I would say it just from a DM perspective, if a player wanted that needed to decide if they wanted General Riposte or Revivify, it would be something along the lines of, do you want to have a spell in Gentle Riposte to be able to keep them there and let you be able to buy you some time to get you to someone who can revive? Right? Instead of having a ticking time clock and then it'd be too late, right? I have a whole long response answer on that because there's different levels of resurrection spells in the game, and the higher level resurrection spells, you're allowed to have more time. Like you could have been dead for longer. So if you do Gentle Riposte, you would be able to find someone and not need them to be of such a high caliber, and they could still resurrect them because it slows that clock down, right? I wouldn't say it freezes it. I would say it slows it down. So that's Gentle Riposte. And then Revivify, I have it be like a shot clock. And for Revivify, for me, you have to revive them within one round. And sometimes I've ruled that as being 2 rounds technically, because the round they go down, okay, a player has a turn to try and get to him, and then a turn to do it, right? So there's a little bit of a gray area there, but it depends on how strict I'd want to be, and we've talked about it beforehand. But in general, how I run Revivify is you have to revive them within 1 round. So it's like, oh, they died. How can we get them here? How can we get the cleric to John, who's on the floor, right? Or Joninthia, or whatever the character name of John is. Anyway, so there's my 2 cents on that, but I'm a very out there DM when it comes to resurrection type of thing, so I hope that helps. But there you go. Oh, Agile Monk's here. Greetings, Dungeon Copes. Hope you and your wife and new baby are doing well now. Yes, Agile Monk. Let me do the monk bow. Agile Monk came in hot last week with the super chats. Appreciate you, brother. And Agile Monk, I'm gonna give Agile Monk a little shout out here too. Agile Monk literally messaged me through Patreon after, and he's like, "Hey, I sent you something in PayPal, just as because PayPal is a much better. It doesn't take the cut from YouTube and all that other kind of stuff, so it was like a direct." And then I was that appreciate you. So yes, little baby Carter, Dungeon Carter, DC Dungeon Carter. His name's Carter. Anyway, the new baby, he's like 3 weeks old now, doing much better. Just boogers like crazy, but he's doing a lot better. His RSVs, his oxygen levels are up now into the upper 95s and stuff, so everything's good now. Little guys championing through, so we're good. I still have a lingering cough from the whole thing, and that's where that cough's coming from, because a whole family got sick. So yeah. So that's great to hear. Thanks, Agile Monk. You rock. Next question. Josh Zeller's question is Alkender's Almanac. That's funny. That's funny. I could probably I have the Spelljammer the thing back there. So is Alkender's Almanac bigger than Spelljammer? Alkender's Almanac is 270 or 237 pages. So it might be bigger than all 3 of the books combined. It's bigger than each of the books individually, but if you take all 3 of the Spelljammer books, put them together, it would rival it. I know, but I don't know how many pages are in each book. I know it's probably over 300. So, but I think that's a funny jab of a question there, Josh. And speaking of Spelljammer, December Spelljammer, December's Patreon release is a full Spelljammer supplement of rules and everything for ship combat, for space travel, for like how air works, how gravity works, how everything works. It's absolutely amazing. Purius spearheaded the whole thing. Purius is a huge homebrew champion of this whole thing, of this whole channel, this whole crew. He's one of the first homebrewers that ever come onto this whole thing, and he is a Spelljammer freak, and he spearheaded that whole thing with the team and really wanted to do that, and it's a banger. It's crazy. So stay tuned for that as far as Spelljammer goes, Josh. So yeah, thanks for that. So next question. Zyfe Gaming has a question. Let's go. How would you recommend adding back lore of how magic works in a homebrew world while also incorporating into existing D&D magic systems? Ooh, adding in homebrew lore of how magic works in a world while also incorporating it into an existing magic system. So I feel I know the first half of that question. I was about to go off on it, but then I'm confused by the second half. So adding lore of how magic works back into the game, yeah, okay, cool. And then while also incorporating it into existing D&D magic systems. I feel like I'm going to answer that question. Here's how I'm going to answer the question, and hopefully it hits on that. The second part of that question confuses me though. But I think it's really cool whenever you bake in how magic works into the world. 2 things that are popping into my head. One is if you want to really introduce like the 10th level spell thing and what happened there, and so talk about the lore of 10th level spells. And then there was a cap put on, and you can't do those 10th level spells anymore. That's crazy. And you could even have some lore about, and I guess this wouldn't be necessarily lore, it could be mechanics on how multiple spellcasters coming together to cast a spell of a higher level, they could come together to be able to, ooh, that's really cool. Maybe 3 first level wizards could come together and cast a, second level spell or whatever. It'd be, those types of things are cool if you want to talk about that starts getting to mechanics. But to focus back onto the lore of things, I also I just had another homebrew mechanic pop up in my first campaign, my first homebrew campaign. I introduced an opposing school chart, right? There's opposing, each school had it was in opposition to another school, right? And they countered each other. So it was really cool. And if there was so I had a puzzle with illusion, and the opposite of illusion was conjuration. So there was an illusion spell of something going on, and if they conjured something, it would have gone and canceled the puzzle. I'm trying to stay vague here because it could get real complicated. But that was really cool. Another lore of the magic and how it works with each other and incorporating it into existing systems. But as far as adding back in lore of how magic works, you could easily be more hard on spell components and why the spell components are a certain way, and you need to be able to do certain things. Be more strict on semantic component or the semantic action of a spell. The things you say, scrolls and how scrolls work, actually scribing it, and really add some more descriptions about whenever they find a scroll and reading the scroll and how the letters light up and everything. Or if you have a wizard in the group and they want to be able to learn more about spell, and you can even homebrew some spells. So I don't know, as far as the lore of magic, talk more about the lore in certain descriptions you have and different things they find, and have the lore of magic be baked into some of the plot of your world as well. If you want to take the lore of magic and have somebody's pushing the boundaries of the school of enchantment, and they're blurring the lines of the school of enchantment and twisting it into doing, necromancy and enchantment have combined together, and they are raising the dead and causing them to mind controlling them to do stuff. Somebody, if they've died in a small window, to kind of connect it to before, if somebody died within a small window of time, they're able to resurrect them and mind control them. Oh, whoa. So anyway, I hope that helps answer the question. I love questions like that because I love challenging questions where it's talking about lore and mixing it in there. And then I of course, my homebrew self got distracted with homebrew mechanics there. So there you go on that too. And then not messing with the rules of D&D Magic. Oh yeah, I love messing with the rules of D&D Magic. I have a whole thing I want to do on that. So heck yeah, Zack, no worries. So next question. Silver Mage has a question. How do you run fall damage? What feels right? Is it something else? Okay, cool. So I have a video on fall damage. Anytime somebody asks a question that I have a video for, I'm going to point you to the video and not just leave you hanging. But I'm going to point you to the video because I go into full detail there. So that's going to help me not have to go into as much detail here, but I don't want to leave you hanging and I don't want to give you homework. The long story short, I think fall damage should just be 1d10. Done, right? 1d10 fall damage. And if you want to really be accurate with it, I would say, and this gets a little complicated in the beginning, and this might be how I run it in certain campaigns if I want to be a little bit more specific, but 10 feet is 1d6, and then you add in, okay, so 0 feet. If you fall 10 feet, it's 1d6. If you fall 20 feet, it's 1d6 and 1d8. If you fall 30 feet, it's a d6, a d8, and a d10. And everything beyond that just adds a d10. You see what I'm saying? So the first fall, you fall 10 feet, no big deal. That's really not that crazy. Now, 10 feet, that is kind of fall. This is kind of far. Today, I literally was at the top of my stairs today, and I looked down the top of my stairs literally an hour ago, and I was like, man, how much fall damage would that be? That's 1d6. It's 1d10. That would hurt. Well, it depends on how you fall. Acrobatics check, DC 10. Maybe for half damage, Okay. So about half damage, and if it's a d6, average damage is 3, and if it's half damage, it's 1.5, so it would be 1 damage. That feels right if I landed good. I literally had that was literally the voice in my head of the thought I had looking down the stairs today. That's where my head goes. So that I feel is the most accurate. That's a little bit too crunchy and grindy for me as far as a d6, then a d8, then a d10, but at least it's just d10s after that. So if you want to keep it simple, just d10s, and it's just always d10s. It's a little bit harsh for the first two, but it's fall damage. Come on. right? Now, if you have players to start trying to like lift up and drop people off cliffs and all that kind of stuff, if they start abusing it, then maybe you can address it, but that's probably something you should handle with the players anyway. But if they do come up with cool ways to knock people off of stuff, fall damage is cool. I want fall damage to be scary. Let the players use it. And if you're on the top of a mountain and you're going to have a chance to fall, that's scary. And a D10 just makes that a little bit more scary. So I like D10s for that. So I hope that helps. Cool. And then, and also fall damage is an Alcantar's Almanac of all things. And I have a whole thing on fall damage there too. So a bunch of different options, that being one of them. Anyway, King the Boost question. How would you make a magic weapon that can change into all weapons? Oh, bro, you don't even know what you just did. Oh, Bardon Brecken. Storm Herald Barbarian for my first homebrew campaign had the blade of many hilts. The hilt of many blades. The blade of many hilts. Hilt of many blades. There you go. The hilt of many blades. It was literally a titanium type of what was the material we used for it? I forget what we made up a metal but it was a metal that if you shock the metal with lightning, you could shift and move it around, kind of like Transformers, right? So he had a weapon that could shape shift and transform as part of the attack action for free, right? So one swing he could swing it as a great sword, next swing he could swing it as an axe, next swing he could swing it as a scythe. It was nuts. It was super awesome. And each weapon form had a different property. Honestly, that weapon, no lie, that weapon is what caused the Alcantar's Almanac of all things combat overhaul thing we've done. That's where that whole thing came from. We launched a combat overhaul PDF that's on the website separately, but then it's also an Alcantar's Almanac because it's just the full big picture of everything. But each weapon has a property of whenever you're using this, it causes this. So if you used, off the top of my head with this sword, if you use the great sword, he can make an attack within 3 squares of each other, right? So the target and the 2 adjacent targets. So 3 squares in a row adjacent within 5 feet. So it's like a sweeping attack. He could apply that one attack to 3 targets if you switched it into great sword mode. If it was an axe mode, it increases the chance to crit by 2 dice. So your it was just by 1. So your chance to crit was a 19 and a 20. Okay, cool. And if your axe, what was it? The axe dealt additional die of damage to targets below half health, like targets that were bloodied, that dealt more damage there as well. So that was the axe. And then there was a scythe. The scythe was crazy, and I went off on the deep end on the scythe. The scythe just, you didn't add anything. When you made an attack roll with the scythe, you didn't add any plus to hit. If you rolled a 16 through 20, it was a crit. And if you rolled anything else, it was not a crit. So it was crazy. And then he could upgrade these weapons to do more things. And he ended up upgrading the scythe to where he could do, I think it was if he rolled a 15 through 20, it was a crit. And if anything else was just a miss. So it actually worked out, the math of it worked out to be pretty balanced, but it was pretty nuts because when a barbarian crits, they get all these extra bonuses and all this other stuff, so it was pretty cool. But yeah, that's what I would do with a weapon that could change into other weapons, is give each weapon a subtle little property. But if you use my weapons combat system, each weapon does have a special property, so you could give someone a magic item that just literally, that's all it does, it changes into different weapons, and that's awesome. You know what I'm saying? So there you go. Wait, what are y'all talking about? Landing was terrible? Okay, cool. All right, next question. Joshua Beatem. Joshua Beatem. What a cool last name. I'm dumb. I'm DMing. I read it as I'm dumb. I saw the M as a U, and I just saw I'm dumb. Wow, I'm sorry. Joshua, you're not dumb. Joshua Beaton. I love your last name too, so I'm sorry, Joshua. Okay, I'm DMing Tomb of Annihilation. There we go. If my party can make/create water, how can I make foraging for water still important? Or should I just focus on food for supplies? Cool. So, here's what I would do. Do I have a video on this? I have a video on ammunition. I do have a video on ammunition, if you should use it or not. Like, should you track food? Yeah. Should you track food, ammunition, etc., etc.? I do have a video on that, so if you're interested in furthering this conversation, check that out. But the first thing that popped in my head is a supply dice system. Yeah, if they manage food and water, okay, cool. And if you want to like focus on food or supplies, that sounds like a supply dice. So how it works is you have a supply die, and this is a scaling die. As the supply die starts off as nothing. Like you don't even have any supplies. Like if you have no supplies, your supply dice would be a D0, like nothing, right? But if you go into a shop or you stock up for an adventure, whatever, you can increase your supply die to a different size. So let's say you go shopping and you stock up and you got a D8 supply dice. Cool. A D8 supply dice means you have a D6 and a D4 below it, and you also have a D10 and a D12 above it. So it's in the dead middle, right? So if you have a D8 supply die, you can ask them to make a supply check, and then someone in the group, whoever's in charge of supplies or whoever wants to, can make a supply check, and you would set a DC. Keep in mind what they're rolling, and if they roll a 1, the supply die decays down to the lower one. So the D8 supply die would drop to a D6 supply die, and they might ask a question like, do we have rope? Do we have rope? And it opens up that thing. Instead of people having to always be like, I'm going to make sure I buy every single thing I get. Sure, if they want to go buy stuff specifically, cool, buy stuff specifically. Or they can spend like 10 gold to up their supply dice one notch. And you can set the economy of that to match your world. I just throw out a clean number there. And then they can increase their supply dice. And if you want to check for something, or if they have a thing or whatever, or if they travel through a long stretch of time, you're like, all right, I need to make a supply check, see if you're okay. And then, yes, we have enough supplies. And you can keep asking for supply checks as often as you want to control the frequency of it, as far as how dangerous or how much drain you want to put on them. And you can also increase the DC to where they might need to make a DC 3 supply check. And if they get a 1, 2, or a 3, then that decreases the dice and everything like that. So that's an option. Another thing you can do, and this is what I'm doing in my Curse of Strahd game, is you have to eat a food ration during a long rest. You have to have one food ration a day. Right. There's another thing I've done, and that's also an Alchemist's Almanac of different food options. One of them is you have to spend a food in order to long rest. You could do that as well. Sorry. You make it a food ration. Don't necessarily make it water or whatever. And if you wanted to make the person that could create food and water feel special, you could say every time you cast that spell, you get one food ration, right? And that could mix it up, because you're gonna, like, if you just say ration, right? You need food and water and all that stuff. You don't need to role play every time your character drinks water or eats or whatever like that, right? And then you just would have one ration. So at some point in the day, you have to have a ration's worth of stuff. Water would be part of that. Food would be part of that, of course. So you would spend a ration when you take a long. In order to take a long rest, you have to spend a ration in order to do that, right? You could do that system. What I'm going to be running in my Curse of Strahd, which is a little bit, survival based, a little bit, is I'm going to track rations, and they have to have one a day. That's it. They just have to have one a day. Super simple, right? And if we have downtime of a week, I'm going to charge them 7. And that's it. And if you don't have 7, you better pay some gold to get that. Okay, cool, we're good, right? So it's a little bitty tax, and it's something they have to keep in mind of whenever they're going out for whatever. And it is something they're going to have to keep track of in some sort of way of how much rations they have, because the world's not just plentiful, and it makes sense. In every other campaign I've ran, I have not tracked food rations in any way. I am going to in Curse of Strahd. It sounds like you should in Tomb of Annihilation as well. And that's what I would do, and I would give your food or create water to the person. Basically, they can create and enhance the sustenance of everything and add a ration. So I would change the mechanics of create food or create water, and it would just add one ration every time they cast the spell. That's my off the top of my head homebrew. Hope that helps. And then bold not bald. Okay, hopefully I'm gonna try and get to your question in bold not bald. I want to see your Curse of Strahd question. I just saw that, but I don't want to cheat the system here. All right, Joshua B-Tim, I got you. Greg Stafford, what's up, Greg? Question: I am running a stone golem guarding a bridge. I'm guarding a bridge. The 4 level 6 NPC. 4. I think there's 4 level 6 PCs, but the word 4 and the word number 4 getting mixed up there. So running a stone golem, guarding a bridge, 4 6th level PCs. Just watch the Apex action video and looking for some ideas. Ooh, baby. All right. Apex action ideas for a stone golem guarding a bridge. Okay. So I would say, in general, whenever I do Apex actions, the first action is going to be some sort of movement type of situation, right? So maybe change the movement. Now, when I say change the movement, I literally mean, I don't mean he has to move. Like the stone golem is not like a mobile type of thing. So maybe the first Apex action shoves his hands in the ground, poof, pillars come up, blocking off the bridge. So it's not just a clean bridge anymore. Now there's a blockade and there's like a huge wall in the center of it, or they block the players off. You pull a pillar up and you wall them off from each other. So one's on this side, somewhere on the other side. So do some sort of movement dynamic thing as the first Apex action. Second Apex action, I have be some sort of like curveball, game changer. Make him have to move for it. So maybe he pillar launches somebody away, right, the other direction. So there's gonna, and this is kind of the thing where like you just got to see your battlefield. So I can't tell you what it's gonna be. But the first one kind of screwed things up, and the second one you can just jettison somebody and like again punch the ground and like woof, like launch somebody off and away, right? Or second. Well, I guess this could also be the third. I like to have some sort of big damaging, like scary thing happen on the third one. And you could just like destroy part of the bridge, like just like destroy part of the bridge. I know it's guarding the bridge, but I would also say the stone golems could maybe mend the bridge with their own stone. You know, I think the stone golem could touch the hand on a stone and like heal it. I don't know. Maybe it's a magical stone golem. That just popped in my head. But yeah, you could have them do some sort of big, huge rock, but like big, mega rock throw attack or something. Or maybe it's something along the lines of like they, like part of themselves explode and then they're smaller than they were before. So you could do some crazy stuff to where it's almost like a phase change where it's a huge stone golem and then maybe it explodes itself and then its 2 arms, its 2 legs, and its torso become 5 individual creatures now. Again, you could take the health, chop it up. Or maybe you do something like this. Well, there's 5 pieces of it though. Maybe as you're attacking it, it could be like, and like its arm falls off or whatever, and it's like pieces of it are falling off, and then whenever it explodes, that's interesting. Okay, this is kind of how I homebrew creatures. So I would have, let's say the stone golem has, these are 6th level PCs. There's 4 of them, level 6. So let's say this thing has 100 health. And each chunk of it has 20, so it's 20 hit points on the arm, 20 on the other arm, 20 on the legs, and 20 for the chest. So every time they've dealt 20 points of damage to it, one of its limbs falls off. And even right now, that might not be enough to make it through 3 rounds, so maybe we up it to 200 health. But then at that point, now we're fighting it. That's a lot of health to give this thing. So maybe it is rock, so I would probably up its armor class and maybe even get a glancing blow armor class to where it would have a glancing blow armor class of 14 to 18. So if you roll a 14 through 18, you dealt half damage to it. Lower than that misses, and higher than that deals full damage, right? And then you'd have 100 health. Each limb has 20 hit points, and every time they deal 20 hit points worth of health, one of its limbs falls off. And if it gets to if it gets to the 3rd round, for each piece remaining, you roll a d12 and everyone takes explosion damage of that. And you can maybe even roll like 2d8s or something like that per piece, depending on how much damage you want this explosion to do. So let's say they dealt 40 points of damage so far within 2 rounds, and there's only 3 pieces of this creature left. Like it's both legs, and then it's like head falls off or something, or like one of its legs and it's like hobbling, but then you don't want it to lose its movement speed. So be careful. You might want to describe it as just crumbling, like general crumbling, right? So anyway, there's 3 pieces of this thing left. You would roll 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 d8 damage and an explosion of a massive explosion from the center of this thing. They take damage from it, and then they look, there's no golem. Like the golem's gone. But those 3 pieces have now animated themselves into 3 smaller golems. And now there's 1, 2, 3 smaller golems, and they have to now fight those 3 smaller golems. And then next round, those smaller golems explode. I don't even know. Maybe you want to stop there with the explosions. But there's my rant. That is what I just did right there. Is insight into what like my brain, and whenever I just start homebrewing things and just start going for it and just start running with stuff whenever I'm making combat encounters. So there's a little combat encounter. I hope that helps, Greg Stafford. There we go. Breaking apart and exploding. Let's go. All right, let's go. All right. KD&D, question. In honor of spooky season, what are your top tips for running horror games in 5e? Anything specific you got for your Strahd prep? So I do have a whole video on this. I have a whole video on horror. I put so much into this video and it did terrible. So I'm a little sad about that. But I had a whole video on, so just type Dungeon Coach Horror, or I think that'll do it. If you type Dungeon Coach Horror, I think that just it'll be one of the top options. There's wolves on the front from the Icewind Dale thing. That's the thumbnail for it. Anyway, I have a whole bunch of stuff in there, like a whole bunch. I put a lot into that video. So check that out. That should be plenty of things there to answer your question on that. But as far as specifically for Curse of Strahd, it's the creepy stuff. There's one thing I'm putting in there, is a, what do we got? There's a book that like knows who they are, or there's a book that has their name on it, and then whenever they touch it, it's a book that like is reading through their whole life, and it's their whole life, and it's their whole life story, and they read, and like this book is literally their life story, and the last page of the book that they just took off the shelf says, and then she reached off and grabbed the book off the shelf and didn't know that the shadow creatures were watching, like some stuff like that, like wait what, and like creepy stuff happening, things, sounds that aren't there, things that aren't adding up. One of the things is there's on the other side of a wall, you hear the sounds of people and this and that, and you open the door and it's not there. Another thing of something I did different with Curse of Strahd is the Death House, which has a lot of stuff that you can go wrong with, or people complain about or whatever, but I really think I've got it in a good spot now. It's like a slow escalation of weird stuff, right? And that's going to be like, I have a slow escalation of weird stuff, and there's going to be a point where where everything's revealed, and I don't know when that reveal is going to happen because I'm just going to be feeling it out at the table, right? So there's going to be some stuff, and then that's going to like reveal what's going on. But I also don't want to talk too much about my home game because I have not warned my players, and I did not give a spoiler warning to my players before that, so I'm going to stop talking about Curse of Strahd right now. But as far as horror goes, I would say also another tip is to make sure you hit around. Don't just go pure horror. Make sure you also have some funny moments in there, because it's the bop around that gets people going to where if you keep going too horror, they're going to get numb to it. So you got to do something and then surprise them with something, right? Looming things, following things, reoccurring things. There you go. But I do have a full video on that, so I think you're going to be pretty set with all that. Cool. Josh Zeller's question: what media have you drawn from for Curse of Strahd? Video games, TV shows, etc. I have not drawn on any media for Curse of Strahd. Media for Curse of Strahd, spooky holiday. I mean, no, it's honestly the module. I've talked with my friend Lunchbreak Heroes. He's got a whole bunch of experience with Curse of Strahd, and point me in the right directions on getting a bunch of things. It just sparked some inspiration and stuff. But other than that, also Flute's Loot is another D&D YouTube channel that I was watching and got some inspiration there for Curse of Strahd. But there's not been any media. No media has inspired me for Curse of Strahd. That's interesting. I really had to think about that. But no media has. Next question. Oh, wait. Hold up. Time out. We got a YouTube member? YouTube members are so cool. D&D Geek, member for 4 months. Appreciate you, bro. Hey, coach, keep up the great content. Doesn't even ask a question, just shoots out some love. Appreciate that. That's really cool. YouTube members, I really am starting to try and do some more stuff with YouTube members. I just overhauled it, and I'm going to be rolling some more stuff out with that. So I appreciate you for being a YouTube member. Let's go. Next question is Zyfe Gaming. One of my players is playing a Warlock Pirate that has a Lunar Moth Fey Queen patron. Whoa. Warlock Pirate has a Lunar Moth Fey Queen patron. Any suggestions on how they would interact or what they may want from the player? Ooh. So one of my players is playing a Warlock Pirate. Okay. And their patron is a Lunar Moth Fey Queen. Oh. Lunar Moth Fey Queen. So again, with the chat, if you guys have any sort of things you want to throw out for Zyfe Gaming here, that is interesting. So, Lunar Moth Fae. So we got a lot of things going on here. I think the hard part here also is anytime you have too many things, that's where it does get a little bit like, wait, okay, lunar, so moon, so things at night, okay, moth. What am I supposed to do with moth? You know what I'm saying? So that's interesting. The moth thing is really, I feel like the moth thing is just the weirdest part. Lunar moth. Yeah, moth, Fae Queen. So Fae makes me think of like deals and like tricks and like how like contracts and like the way things are phrased. But then you're also talking about how they interact, how they would interact, and what they want from the player. So a lunar moth. It's a type of moth. Yeah. So a lunar moth. Well, okay. So if it's a type of moth and you don't want me to go off of the if you don't want me to go off of the moon, I was about to go off on a moon tangent there. If they see a lamp, oh my God, KD&D. KD&D's trolling you. So if it's moths use a lot of pheromones, charm effects. Interesting. Okay, and there's the Fae situation there. So there we go, Scatterbug. That's nice. So I think I was about to go off the deep end with lunar, but if a lunar moth is a type of moth that uses pheromones and stuff, there we go. Now we're moving. So maybe part of the pact here is, I see, now I'm rolling. Part of the pact here is what if the patron communicates to what if this warlock's patron communicates to them by charming other people, mind controlling other people, and talking to them through the other people? How creepy is that? They're talking to a commoner or whatever, and they're like, all right, bye. Thanks for that. They go into a shopkeeper. They buy some stuff from a general goods vendor, and then it's like, oh, thanks for coming in. No worries. Have a good day. And then like, all right, you guys turn, you walk out of the shop. Come back. I have to talk to you about something. And like they now, instead of this big hearty go, I need to talk to you about something. You need to do whoa, what? And you have they possess and charm other people to speak to you. That's creepy. That's freaking creepy, right? And then what they want is for you to maybe go charm other people and spread some powder. Maybe it's something seems harmless and like you just need to sprinkle powder in some people, like spike some people's drinks with the powder, or like blow it in their face, or spread it across, like go up to a high building. Like they just the patron just tells them like, go up to the highest building in every town you go to and just release some of this powder. No big deal. And that's it, right? And then just let that, and then you can make that as dark as you want. Yeah. So I did this once in a campaign. I did where the warlock patron told them to give people this drink, and the drink literally turned them into like demon zombies, right? It was bad. And they kept doing it. And they didn't realize, and they said the fact that they kept doing it, I was like, man, their patron is going to be the BBEG. Like, this is crazy. They're just helping their patron. And then it was crazy. So yeah, that was fun. Oh my God. So everyone in the chat is just trolling with freaking light and the moths going to light. I love that. So, all right. It's 9:20. We got 10 more minutes here. Let's crank out some questions, baby. One of my players. Okay, got it. Pyrotechnic question: Have you ever had the PC side with the bad guy? Not necessarily the end all be all bad guy, but just like an arc villain. Side with a bad guy. Oh, have they ever sided with a bad guy? I'm trying to think about this last campaign. They didn't know they were siding with a bad guy, so I would say no, because they thought that the person was a good guy. So no there. And then they sided with people who were supposed to be bad, but they found out they were good. So then I guess that's still a no. And then another campaign, they never sided with a bad guy. So no one's ever sided with a bad, like temporarily sided with a bad. I think that's a really great trope that I want to put into a game now, you know? Like we have to join forces with them in order to accomplish something worse or to like defeat something bigger that we both want to, and then we're back to squaring off with each other. That's freaking cool. That's freaking cool. I have not done that. So heck yeah. Love that pyrotechnic. Josh Zeller's question, is the next Kickstarter going to be Alkander's like a series? I don't know. And then Josh Zeller's next question is can we get the book signed? That was one of the reward tiers on the Kickstarter. But the hard part is I can't sign the books because I don't even get them. I don't even get them here. So like we ordered 2,000 something books, right? And they're in the publishing company place, and then they are shipping it out to people, right? So I'm not even going to see. I would not have touched that book. You know, the Gold Dragon tier on Kickstarter. Why they're the only tier that got physical shippable things is I physically am going to ship the like the miniatures and the flash drives and all those other things, right? So I'm going to be doing all those. So I'm ordered extra books to come to the house, like our house here, and then I'm physically going to be shipping those, so I might as well sign it. Like why would I not type situation, right? So that's like a nice package deal all together. You know, those are the books I'm going to sign, but the other books, I don't even see the other books. But now back to your other question about the next Kickstarter. The next Kickstarter is going to be on crafting, gold economy, like different materials to make armor, weapons, and trinkets out of. Some of that is teasered in the Combat Overhaul PDF if you want to see some stuff there. But it's going to be a huge, full thing going on. I don't know. I honestly don't know if I want it to be Alkander's Armory of crafts and crafting. You know, I don't know. I don't know if I want it to be Alkander's blank. I don't think so. I don't think that I want to do that. I see the entice to it, so I really don't know. I'm going to talk to my team about that. I'm going to do some polls about that. I don't know. But in general, my gut is no, it's not going to be Alkander's blank. Because I don't want it to always be like, Alkander's this, Alkander's this, Alkander's this. But I guess that's good branding, because then it's just Alkander's. So I don't know. That's a great question. I wish I had an answer for it. Hi, Kiwi with a $2 super chat. I was at the store. What did I miss? Thanks for coming by, Kiwi. I appreciate you making your grand entrance to that cool freaking icon you got there. You missed some questions. Okay, so you're going to have to rewind and watch those. Let's go. Coach's Craft. Ooh, Coach's Crafting Corner. Let's go. Alliteration. All right. Next question. And I'm going to try and get caught up here, y'all. Question. In one D&D, how relevant do you think crafting of magic and non-magic items is going to be considered? We have the crafter feat. Wow, unstable. The fact that you asked that question before I just went on that rant about my next Kickstarter is funny. I don't think that one D&D is going to create a crafting system. I truly don't. I absolutely, truly don't think so. And if they did, it would not be anything like what we're doing. There's just no way. I promise you, it's not going to be that. You should see. But anyway, so yeah, that's kind of that's where that is. I don't. They might do something like Xanthar's Guide where they talked about downtime and the different things you can do, but I don't think it's going to be a big thing. I think that's a cool feat for people that do want to craft stuff, but I don't think they are going to do enough legwork to give us a full crafting system. So, y'all are naming the next Kickstarter. Hold up. Let me see. Alkander's Crafting Corner, Alkander's Armory of Alchemy and Accessories. That's actually pretty good. That's all A's. Wow, that's 4 A's technically. So Alkander's Almanac of All Things is 3 A's, and that's 4 A's. And then the next Kickstarter could be 5 A's. That'd be a slippery slope there. Oh my God, Vile Kerr, Alkander's Architectural Alley. That's cool too. Oh man, maybe I should be Alkander's. I don't know. We'll see. All right. Josh Zellers, have you used a Vorpal weapon in your campaigns? No, I have not. In general, Josh, I don't give out standard items. I don't give out standard D&D magic items in my campaigns. I make every single one of them homebrew. We'll see what goes on with Curse of Strahd. I feel like I'm running a module, so I want to run the module and not go too crazy with what I give them. You know what I'm saying? So, but I am going to go crazy with the monsters, so I feel like I do have to go crazy with the rewards. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, because the first thing they're gonna fight. Whoa! See, again, I can't give curse shot spoilers. I'm gonna save that for a different time. And then the last question of the night. Then we're gonna wrap it up here. Is bold not bald? Yeah, bold not bald. Question. You said you're running Curse of Strahd, so am I. Do you have a playlist or a place you're prepping it? I'd love to collab with you. So, bold not bald. Yes, I am going to be on my Patreon for all patrons. I have they have access. There's a tier on there. I forget where it is and everything, but there's a tier on there that gives access to my Dungeon Master binder. That is going to be I'm going to open up access to my Curse of Strahd binder in there, and it is unlike anything I've ever done for a DM binder. I have never been this like efficient and clean and professional, and I'm really trying to make my Dungeon Master binder something, especially since it's Curse of Strahd. I want to be able to do this so that I can run Curse of Strahd multiple times over and over time. I could just do this, right? For other gaming groups, for other friends, or other whatever, right? So I really, really like it. I'm putting some spins on it, twists on it, and all that kind of stuff. So if you're interested in that, that is going to be available to patrons. It's not available yet. It's not in its finished state yet. I haven't even launched the campaign yet. That's going to launch in like a little over a month from now. Because next month is when I'm launching the Patreon one-shots. I'm going to be playing one-shots with patrons. It's a whole thing in there. There's one tier that is going to have the chance to win, and then the highest tiers, the Platinum Dragon tiers, are get spots at the table too. I'm going to be playing D&D every single month, little one-shots with patrons and stuff. So I'm super excited about that too. I'm going to eventually get to the point where I'm going to stream those and try and get those out there so y'all can see some gameplay stuff. There's a lot of stuff coming. So appreciate you guys hanging out. Oh, Alkenner's artificing. Definitely not a word. Alkenner's artificing. That is interesting. Highwayman, that is actually really interesting. I don't know. That's pretty good. And I love artificer, and artificer concept is very much in line with what the book's about. So that's pretty good. Oh yeah, that's true. Curse of Strahd stuff, Spelljammer stuff, Patron one-shot stuff coming up, new Kickstarter, lots of stuff is on the horizon. So heck yeah, people. And yeah, if you guys are interested in hanging out and chilling for a little bit longer, I'm going to hop over to the gaming channel, wind down for the night. I have not done much gaming at all with second baby on the way, so this is a nice little window to kind of chill. If you guys want to come over there, Dungeon Coach Gaming, I'm gonna go over there now, and just for a little bit. There's a whole bunch of new stuff that got released today. I play World of Warcraft and stream on there. If y'all gonna come hang out, come on hang out. And oh, hold up, Kiwi with another super chat, $2 super chat. I missed the whole stream. My bad. So you paid your late fee. Thanks, Kiwi. And thanks everybody for coming and hanging out. You guys are awesome. Stay creative. Think outside the box. Thanks for hitting the like button too from Scatterbug's request.